From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work. We will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. And more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America. And more importantly, God bless our victims. Well, good morning, my beautiful coffee beans. Happy Sunday. I got to tell you, a lot is going on in the Sebastian Rogers case. We're going to get into the live here in just a moment. But before we do, I just wanted to express some of my frustration. This case is really about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He's a 15-year-old autistic boy that disappeared February 26th, so we're led to believe. The only primary purpose of all of this is to find Sebastian and to find Sebastian safe. And as each week passes, that hope dwindles for many, including myself. It infuriates me to see so many beautiful souls getting up and getting out there to help this beautiful family, searching, providing them resources, some providing them financial funds, just doing your part, anything and everything that you can do to give back and try to help this family. And I know that they are grateful. I know people like me from around the world that watch are truly grateful for the generosity of many. And I think it hurts us to our core to see a mom and a stepdad be so disrespectful to that very son. And although Seth had some words of encouragement, and I'm going to call him that because I love his bluntness. I'm a very blunt person, if you guys haven't noticed. And I kind of like Seth's style. So check this out.
Me and Chris are putting our differences aside.
Oh, we have one more.
It's not about our egos. It's about finding Sebastian. Me, Chris, and Katie will begin working together. And if everybody else could just fuck off and put your egos aside, help us find our son. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is the goal of this shit. If you can't get on that, get the fuck off.
As you see, Seth is just wanting to find his son, and I am glad he is able to bury the hatchet. I'm in the same vein as him. I can put my BS aside for the sake of a great cause any day of the week, and I hope you can too. But on the same heels of that, look at this. This right here is exactly why the world is so angry with Chris and Katie Proudfoot. When you ditch another vigil for that precious boy to be at a motorcycle shop. These are the things that are pissing the world off. I just want to put that out there. Enjoy this live broadcast from TikTok. God bless. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And please provide a comment below. Who do you think did this? Do you think this is a good move for Seth? And will you do your part to help find Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? God bless. Well, happy Sunday. It's nice to see everyone. I'm sure many people are probably sleeping off Saturday night. Today, I was actually supposed to be on the road right now heading to Tennessee, and it's going to be postponed for 24 hours, so I'm not leaving until tonight. I'll probably be leaving tonight about midnight, 2 a.m. What am I talking about? I'm Bullhorn Betty. We're covering the case of Sebastian Rogers, which is a 15-year-old autistic boy that's missing from Sumner County, more specifically Hendersonville, Tennessee. Again, 15-year-old white male, brown hair. Some people say dirty blonde hair, so a light brown, in my opinion. Brown eyes, 5'5", 120 pounds. The details related to his disappearance are very peculiar. So what we were told by Katie Proudfoot, Sebastian's mother, she had a day with him the Sunday before February 25th. So today is Sunday right now. And so on February 25th was also a Sunday. And on Sunday, they went to a few places. They went to BJ's. There's some confusion here because it appears that they came home a couple times. So, for example, it sounds like they left the day, they went to BJ's. Whether or not he had a popcorn is up for speculation, but because she calls it a colossal popcorn, it seems like it might be something that was added to the story, but we don't know. But according to her, he got a colossal popcorn at BJ's, a bunch of snacks. They brought the snacks home. It sounds like the neighbor has Sebastian on camera coming home and going to the mailbox and collecting the mail. She describes a very happy, jovial, smiling, giggling boy. Went to the front door and didn't get in the front door and skipped down the sidewalk and went into the garage. There is a moment that we have confirmed, law enforcement has confirmed that there is a video. We have not seen the video. We don't know whose video it is, but there is a video seeing Sebastian take out the garbage. Some people are saying, but did we see him going in the house? I assume he went into the house after he took the garbage. In my theories, and just about every single one of my theories, it has nothing to do with an outside influence. It has nothing to do with a stranger danger theory or anything like that. So let me just go and see if there's any comments. Good morning, everyone. We've got a nice little group here quite early this morning. And thank you for the roses. What do we have here? This case has stressed me to the max. Stacy, you're not lying. It does stress you because we want to know what's going on. And yes, we're getting to that, Nix. I saw that. I heard that. That is one of the slides that we're going to be going through. So many of you know that there was a vigil. Justin on TikTok, I've known him for years. What a great guy. He's just an all-around good-hearted person, and I love him, and I love the fact that he's able to talk to these people and get some information. Apparently, this is Seth Rogers. This is Sebastian's biological father, and we know that this right here is Christopher Proudfoot, which is Sebastian's stepfather. This is the person that has a lot of controversy swirling around him. But at the vigil that they set up for Sebastian yesterday, Seth attended, and people noticed that Christopher Proudfoot showed up. And so Christopher Proudfoot showed up to this vigil. I mean, he can't seem to call Seth. He has to make sure that this is done in the public while the entire public is looking, right? And he goes up to Seth and basically wants to bury the hatchet with Seth. Seth wants to find his son. Seth doesn't care how his son is found. All Seth cares about is finding his son. I think the behavior of Christopher Proudfoot at this vigil is suspect. I'm going to say it. I think it was done intentionally and purposefully, thoughtfully, to make an impression or an impact. However, and God bless Seth. God bless Seth, because I really do believe that this man thinks something happened to his son inside their house, and while he was under his care. I don't care what Seth seems like a smart man. I'm not going to disrespect this man or challenge his integrity. I really do believe this looks like a man that wants to find his son. I believe he, being it from the prisons, I think he's seen a lot. I don't think this is a stupid man. I really don't. I think he's pretty stinking smart, and he knows something happened to his son. I also think the man's very, very smart as well, and I just said that, right? So I see that him bearing the hatchet with Chris and Katie Proudfoot is nothing but a great thing. It's nothing but an opportunity to start moving forward, and hopefully, maybe, and pray to God that this thing from Chris isn't just this thing from Chris. I hope he actually puts some action behind that. And I would have anticipated some action being put behind that by Chris staying at the vigil that he had no problem attending to make sure everybody saw him there speaking to Seth, when he could have just, he's so private and all, he can't go out of his house. He can't go search for, Sebastian. Katie can't go search for Sebastian, but they have time to make public appearances when it suits them. And I don't believe this is anything else, but God bless Seth, because Seth says he wants to put down the hatchet. The most important thing is his son, and I have to agree. And I've been standing on this platform for weeks saying the same thing. We have all the time in the world to be angry with Chris and Katie. Number one is this boy right here. That is the number one goal. We have time. We have all the time in the world to be angry and to cast our judgment. We can do that after we bring this boy home, and why I'm going out into the woods. Of course, my team, they're always ultra concerned whenever I go out into a community, for a variety of reasons. One, we were the most bullied channel on YouTube for a year. I took a lawsuit to start settling some of that down. And of course, we have some people that are just unhealthy on social media platforms that hear people doing good stuff and for whatever reason don't want anybody doing anything good or positive in their community. I don't get it. And then, of course, there are environmental worries. I'm going to be in the backwoods of Tennessee. Okay, we got a lot of wildlife out there, not including the snake population that terrifies the crap out of Bullhorn Betty. And if you guys don't know, I've stepped on a snake before. It's not it's very I don't know how to explain the feeling of stepping on a snake and realizing it's about to coil up and strike you if you don't get off of it. It is a feeling that I don't think I want anybody to ever experience, honestly. I can tell you I was a freaking lunatic. I'm jumping up and down. My feet are just pop, pop, pop. I thought I was going to die. I did. I thought that copperhead or water moccasin was going to get me, right? And it wasn't a water moccasin, copperhead or diamondback. I thought it was going to get me, right? It was a non-lethal water snake. Okay, it was a North Carolina water snake. Very lucky, but taught me a very valuable lesson. Watch where you step and use a stinking stick. So there is that experience. So, not even just the people or the whatever. I mean, this man right here, knowing me coming into town, he kind of worries me a little bit. But Chris, don't worry. I think I can take you. Don't mess with the bullhorn. You mess with the bull, you get the bullhorn. I need to stop. But, having somebody like this out there that I really truly believe harmed a kid, I mean, of course, naturally, it's going to concern me. I don't want him knowing where I'm at. I don't want him following me. I don't want him around me. I don't want to feel threatened at all while I'm out there conducting lawful legal business to try to find Sebastian Rogers. Now, I did this thumbnail a while ago on another topic. Do you believe us? This was early on. This was basically right at the beginning part when they first left in the camper. I can tell that because the camper's in here. And I haven't used the camper very much except when mommy and stepdaddy decided to run away because they couldn't handle the pressure of a missing kid. So they decided to run away 3.5 hours away from home while they have an autistic kid missing. I don't know. Right? I don't know how they thought that was going to work out well for them, but I don't know. This beautiful boy right here has been missing since February 26th, and nobody has seen him. There's been, people are starting to circulate news again about some of the stuff because the audio and the body cam footages are starting to be released a little bit about certain aspects of the recording when they were searching for Sebastian Rogers as a missing person. And so even though those things were resolved early on by law enforcement, people are just hearing them in the audio and they're like, oh, but we have a kid walking down the road with a bag over his head. And it's like, guys, they cleared that lead. That lead had happened literally the day they were searching for Sebastian Rogers, and law enforcement was penetrating the entire area. So when somebody called in about this person in a black hoodie with a bag over his head, they found the kid. The kid was it was not Sebastian. So I just want to make sure that people are really aware when you're hearing these audios and the information on these audios were cleared weeks ago, okay? Literally weeks ago. So just don't get distracted by the information you're hearing on it. It's new information because we didn't know what was on those recordings. But when it comes to people, when it comes to areas, when it comes to, the dogs and hearing about the dogs and the footprints and stuff like that, that happened literally day 1 and day 2 of this investigation. And all of those things associated with that news has already been looked at and cleared. So again, I keep putting this up here because I want people to see his missing person flyer, because I think we get away. I'm right there with Seth Rogers when he says this is the most important. And although Katie and Chris have brought in an entire massive amount of drama into a case that does not need it because of their behavior, I think we focus on them taking away from the true victim of this. And the true victim is Sebastian Rogers. He's the one we need to bring home. He's the one we need to find. I'm so sick and tired of talking about Katie Proudfoot and Chris Proudfoot. I think they're complete pieces of shit. And usually I'll say POS, but no, I'm going to say it. God forgive me on a Sunday, but I will be praying for them today in church. I can guarantee that. But you know what? When I pray for them, I'm going to pray to God that God quits making them being pieces of shit. I talk to my God. When I talk to my God, I bear all. I don't sit there and sugarcoat nothing for my God. When I pray to him, I'm me. I'm me when I pray to my God, and I'm going to call this family a piece of shit. And then Nix reminds us, which brings me full circle around to this dissertation, when we find out we have the photos of the Proudfoots motorcycle shopping during a vigil for a missing child in their custody. He couldn't stay at the vigil, even though Seth could. But boy, you know what? We do see what's really important to Chris and Katie, don't we? Every time we turn around and we think that they're going to put Sebastian, this beautiful boy right here, first, we find out they never do. Their lifestyle comes first. Their image comes first. Their facade comes first. Selling their house comes first. Eating barbecue comes first. Packing up the RV and going on a camping trip in Mississippi comes first. And of course, motorcycle shopping will always come first before them giving a shit about this young boy right here. So when I go to church today, I'm going to be referring them as pieces of shit when I pray for them. And God forgive me for that. But that's my truth. And I'm not going to lie about that. Makes me angry. Is she actually a biological parent? Katie Proudfoot gave birth to this boy. She sure did. You wouldn't know it, would you? She treats this child like a redheaded stepchild, and she gave birth to him. She chose a man over him. And, we need to focus our stuff, and I am. This is the areas, and, I'm not going to show you all the areas of searching, but I want to show you the work that we've done. Just bear with me because they're so far up here. Every time I change my settings and stuff like that, we have to go back and get these. So we've got areas to search off the interstate I-40. We just have a lot of stuff that we're working here. I want to, there's a pond there that I think is really important. I think water. I've been gravitated a lot, even though I do land searches. This is going to be, even though I do land searches and stuff like that, I really, truly believe I'm so blessed. I pray to God I run across Narca Diver. I'd like to shake that man's hand because I saw him still in the waters yesterday as this vigil is going on. He's searching for Sebastian Rogers in the water. I'd love to do more more water searches because I think that there's more people in the waterways than there are on the lands. I think people just found it's easier, it's quicker, it's easier. It's literally, if you can find a spot deep enough, you only have to have weight, right? It's boom, 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 done and over with, right? I mean, if we wanted to look at the grand scheme of things, it probably is the easiest way. I mean, unless you can find a spot that nobody's at, drive up and dump off, really the waterways are the way to go. I know the parents have been, and not just parents, just bad people in general. I've noticed that they have no problem throwing people away, literally. And we need better, I wish, let me explain this to the audience. Landfill logistics are amazing. They can literally tell you where a pile of trash is that was collected weeks ago, okay? I mean, the logistics of the landfill are amazing. However, the processes of the landfill, not so much. Because landfills are designed to decompose the waste as quickly as possible. So they use heavy equipment, they smash, 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 smash. That's how you do it. Smash, 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 smash. So you can understand the deconstruction, major destruction of tissue and other things that could be in there that it's needing to decompose. Believe me, human tissue, live tissue is going to be decomposing quicker than, say, cellophane or a tin foil, okay? So you can imagine what that heavy equipment would do to somebody or something like that. So I believe that that's becoming a rise. I really do. Well, we've had landfills associated with Quentin Simon. We've had landfills associated with Elijah Vu. We've had landfills associated with, this case here. They went out to a landfill to search. There's multiple situations where landfills are being utilized, and it's usually in rural and more desolate areas because they either have, noticeable or not, but they like with, I shouldn't say desolate. I should say mildly populated, not huge cities, but something like Hendersonville, where you have a mild population and people's eyes are always on everybody else. You don't really have a whole lot, but you still have a lot of greenery. If you look down a lot of these dirt roads and stuff like that, like I've been doing, I've been searching up and down all of this area. And even though it looks like it's heavily wooded and populated, there's houses there. So it makes it almost impossible not to do something without creating some type of attention. So I'm trying to find, looking at these maps and identifying, which is very difficult because these maps are older, right? They do have the roads, but as far as the building, like this might already be fully built up here. See these little squares? Those look like areas where they're going to be building at some time. They look like cleared areas, cleared land, like for building. So these may already be built right now. This may not even be a conducive spot for searching. It might be filled with houses. So we really need to get out there. But I've got a lot of different spots that I want to search in and around the family home, but I really don't. I believe that this child's somewhere around here, but I keep trying to think. My contention is I'm not thinking like a normal criminal. I'm dealing with two very highly intelligent people. We are dealing with Christopher Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot that were trained, highly trained by Navy, by our U.S. military. So I'm not dealing with our normal run-of-the-mill idiot criminal. I've got to sit here and try to think smart, right? Which is usually a very uncommon key factor in most of the cases we cover because the people that we cover are usually idiots. These are not idiots. I need to make that very clear for everybody out there. These people are not idiots. They're smart. They're smart. They've cleaned up after themselves. There's no scent, and there's very little evidence. And I think it was because law enforcement believed the Proudfoots too early on in the process. They should have gotten their bearings. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that Chris's sister works for that very department. So we all know how, law enforcement feels about backing their own, right? Christopher Proudfoot's sister works there. He gets that back the blue priority by association. We know that's to be true. So we'll be out there. We're postponed for 24 hours. I will be leaving tonight early in the morning and getting on the road. We should be out there by Monday afternoon. Our search efforts will actually be starting sometime Tuesday. If there are creators out there that would like to just maybe search together so we're not out in the woods alone, I'm happy to collaborate. I do kind of my own thing, but I would like an earshot, to somebody, and I'm sure if somebody's another person's out in the woods by themselves, they would probably appreciate that too. Being alone out in the woods can be dangerous. That's why I roll live. I make sure that my mods and everything are up to date. So I'll be sharing my location with my moderators on YouTube and keeping safe. And then, of course, if I can, if I'm in the woods and stuff and I can go live, we'll go live searching. I've got plenty of phones, so I'll run a live here on TikTok simultaneously running a live on YouTube so everybody can see what I'm out there doing. But there are some key areas that I absolutely want to. Oh, thank you, Green Eyed. I absolutely, without a doubt, want to search. I just think it's prime for searching. But typically when I deal with stuff like this, that boy is within 5 miles. That boy is within 5 miles of that house, typically. We're not dealing with typical, though. And we're dealing with a man that was working 3.5 hours away. That it's a tough pill to swallow, and I don't think anybody understands the gravity of what we're talking about. How large this search area is. It's just it really could be anywhere. So I've got to trust that that I believe Chris would be the one that transports Sebastian, and knowing that, I have to start looking in his comfort zones, in his comfort areas, his comfort. Where he's been, what he does for his downtime, getting inside his head. Where would he go? What would he do? Where would he place this boy? Would it be land or water? And if I truly believe it's land, that's right up my alley. So, there is a portion, narco divers in the water. I know there should be some other people in the waters there. So, and I know we have plenty of people on the land. So I'll be out there. We'll start searches on actually the 23rd, because if I'm leaving the 21st, that means I'll be getting in late afternoon on the 22nd. And if I'm getting in late afternoon on the 22nd, I will need to go view some of these areas before I start searching them and getting my schedule together on what areas I'm going to search, because I got to search. I'm going to be searching up I-40 corridor too. There's a few spots on the I-40 corridor, but I'm going to wait probably closer to the end of the week to start searching that I-40 corridor as I start making my way to Memphis and Mississippi, because I'm searching those areas too. We know that Chris and Katie are hiding. We know that they're cowards. We know that they are giving Seth word salad. I think Seth knows that he's receiving word salad from Christopher Proudfoot. But you know what? I support Seth, and however we need to bring Sebastian home, I'm game. I'm one of these people. You guys know I've been belly to belly with murderers. I know how to check my bullshit at the door. Again, excuse my language on a Sunday. I know how to check my BS at the door. I know how to put my game face on, and we can do it. I have no problem with the whole thing of Chris and Katie. I just want them not to be playing Seth yet again. That would really burn my grits if we find out that, Chris and Katie want to bury the hatchet with Seth and want to help find the son, and then they do everything they can not to help find the son and try to distract efforts. That's what my main concern is. That's my only concern. I don't trust Chris and I don't trust Katie. And I have a 15-year-old reason why. So just be careful, Seth. That's my only thought, because at the end of the day, while you're here because this boy matters the most to you, you know what matters the most to that man that you were talking about, that you want to lay down the hatchet for and work together with? The most important thing in his life was that motorcycle. Something to think about. Also something to think about. This man is the only one that has scratches up and down his arm. The only one that I deem to have a motive to want to hurt a boy. Just a few other things to think about. In order for us to find this boy, we need to know everything about him. And we need to know everything about her. Because by knowing them, we're most likely going to find him. That's my 2 cents, guys. Don't spend it all in one place. God bless you. I hope you guys have an amazing day today. For those that are stuck home, you don't get out very much. Maybe, social media is the only way you get to see the outside world for a variety of reasons. Ailments, illnesses, disabilities. If you don't get out very much and you would like to attend church, we at the Coffee Club on YouTube go to a church called Countryside Christian Church. It's out of Clearwater, Florida. And I just love their design. I love their makeup. I love their pastors. I had an opportunity. They're a little distance from me, but I've had an opportunity where I've been able to go over and personally visit the church and meet the pastors there, and absolutely love their vision and love their message. So I always want to, give my hand and say, if you want to come to church, please come over to YouTube. Church starts at 9:05 this morning. I promise you, it is always an amazing service. It always gets me right where I need it. And it always uplifts me and helps me, move forward through the week in such a positive way. Much more positive than it would be, right? Much more positive than it would be. So if you guys would love to come over, I'm always, always, always wanting to find new friends to come to church with the Coffee Club. So come over to YouTube, Countryside Christian Church. You can always go to my YouTube page. I post it in my community tab, and it gives you the direct link right to our service. So please consider coming over and hanging out with us this beautiful Sunday morning as we worship. God bless each and every one of you.